Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited.
What are you excited about?
The last episode of our 8th season of That Black Couple. We made it.
We done did it. A whole
Oh my
season
god. This is
live on
this is
video.
episode 10, and we're talking about being 40 years old.
We look good for 40. Shit.
Listen, we look amazing, but, we gonna talk about how nuts of a year 40 has been. So, this is episode 10 of season 8 of That Black Couple. I am Jen.
And I am Daren.
Before we get started, please make sure you follow us on Threads and Instagram at That BLK Couple. Follow us on Facebook at That Black Couple. And you can email us. You can find us at thatblackcouple@gmail.com or look us up on the internet at www.thatblackcouple.com.
You can stream our episodes everywhere podcasts are streamed. I'd appreciate if you go on there and you like them and you share them, whether that be Apple Podcasts, whether it be Google Podcasts or SoundCloud or Spotify or any of those other platforms. But I'd appreciate even more if you went to the YouTube. If you went to
Yeah,
our YouTube and you liked the video, if you subscribe to our channel,
the
if
button.
you share, again, share with your friends,
Hit the button.
tap them in as well. In particular, I'll say our YouTube is really special too. It has
Yeah.
all these episodes that we're recording for season 8 on there, has all of the backlog that are just audio. Those are also on there. But you'll also find our sister podcast, We Publish Beloved,
Come
on our YouTube
on.
as well. If you have not tapped into that, that is the best Black book podcast in the world, bar none.
Come on, best.
Prove me wrong. Okay. And that's why you want to subscribe, right? You're getting all that content, you're getting all that good knowledge and information, all that great, rich blackness, all in one place.
Oh my gosh. Darren, do you have water?
I do have water.
Do you have a Canadian Clearly?
I don't have no clear water from Canada. No, I do not.
Do you remember when we were kids and we thought this was like Cavassier? We thought this was the
Uh-huh.
most amazing drink, and now we do the same thing to our children because we don't let them drink it.
Ooh, and they're so mad. They're so
Okay,
mad.
anyway, y'all grab yourselves a Canadian Clearly and some water. Okay, let's get into this episode. This episode is about building the lives we want for ourselves, and we are going to talk about our move from upstate New York to Maryland and this 40th year of life now that we are both 41 and we can reflect. Um, wow, hell of a time. So,
Such a time.
how do you wanna
I
how you
mean,
wanna how you wanna start this out?
let's do the first things first. I would like to just jump into the move, right? Also to update everybody, right? As you just noted, we have moved. That's why the backgrounds have changed. We are in a new home. We are now in Maryland. We are out of upstate New York. Thank God. What I will say, however, is I don't think we've ever had a non-traumatic move. I don't think that has existed for us.
You're right.
If I think of every single one, pretty traumatic, and they kind of escalated.
You know what? Now that I even when we moved off campus
Even before
for
kids,
our first
very traumatic
apartment,
move.
that was very overwhelming.
Every single time,
A very
right?
stressful
And I
time.
mean, moving is not an easy thing. I think most people don't have like fun moving. Like it's not something that's really meant to be enjoyed. We have particularly bad moving situations every time, and we planned very well for this one. I mean, we did everything right. We had things lined up.
We
We
did
we
everything
were good to
right.
go, and then niggas intervened, and wow. I will not go into the details because I think that might be a little bit too personal, but things were delayed. Movers didn't want to give us our stuff. We we were doing the most, moving from a very long distance. I drove a lot of different U-Hauls multiple times. Um, and then on the back of that, once we finally got into the house, we then also had to move our oldest child into college.
Yeah.
So that was great. Oh, and wait, I forgot. In the midst of all of that, you had open heart surgery.
Yeah, yeah,
Within a week of our move-in, within a
yeah,
week of us having a key to our house,
yeah.
you were in the hospital having open heart surgery. So, as we said, what a time it was. It was a challenging time, um, but we made it, and we made the most of it, and we're happy with our decisions and where we ended up.
What I will say is, this is what I'm gonna say. One thing about us is we gonna do what the hell we gonna do. Like we will say we're gonna do a thing, and then people be like, "Really?" And we be like, "Yeah," and they be like, "Okay," and we be like, "No, for real, we're gonna do it." And people don't always believe it, and then we do it. And with the first move, we moved from USC, we graduated, and we moved into an apartment, and we drove. We did not sleep. We moved overnight. I don't know why it ended up working out like that, but we ended up having to move overnight, and then within 2 weeks, we got married. Um, we did all of the stationery for our own wedding
On our own printer in our
on our
new
own
apartment.
printer. I don't know why we did that. Oh my god, it was awful. We had a beautiful wedding. It was a beautiful, beautiful wedding, and then when we got pregnant with our oldest, we were like, "We wanna buy a house," and then I got meningitis, and I almost died. Almost died. So then I had to go stay with your mom for a bit while I healed from meningitis because you were working, and then we found our dream house because magically, miraculously, someone dropped out, and there was a new build in this new community, and we happened to drive by that day, and they said, "We like you. You all should get the house," and so we did. That was nuts because I was giving birth to a child within a month, um,
You were definitely painting them walls
and I was
while
in there,
pregnant. Don't know if that was a good idea, but it happened.
you know,
Because again, I was at work.
correct. And my mama came and helped me. I was hanging fans, up there doing this, and I was putting the little covers on the wall things, everything. And then we brought a beautiful bouncing baby boy home a month later, and we lived there for a few years. And then I was like, "I wanna go to grad school," and you were like, "Good idea," which I still to this day, like, "Something wrong with you," and I got into U Chicago, so then we had to move to Chicago.
With now 3 kids, one of which is an infant.
Yeah. Yep. Um, and we found the house out there, but then everybody in Orange County was racist, and as soon as they found out we were Black, they didn't wanna buy our house. So we, pushed it to the edge, to the very edge. And I almost didn't get to start school on time, and then boom, we did, and then we
And then was hurry
zoomed
up and run and get out
right,
of state.
and then we just moved in that day, with our infant, our 8-month-old child, and then, I graduated from, my PhD, and then we had to go to Syracuse, um,
Another move across multiple states,
with 3
again with 3 children.
children, and then at that point, a puppy who was only 5 months old.
Puppy and a puppy, yep, don't forget the puppy.
And a homeowner who did not want to leave his house.
I think it was gonna be us or the movers, but someone was gonna physically remove the man from that
In
house.
a state where that's okay, where they just let the owner just stay in the house. So our kids started school 3 weeks late, and I started my job from a hotel.
Mhm, that was fun.
That was great. It was great. And then there was this move
Then there was this one.
where we were like, we
We
have to
the
leave
thing is
Syracuse.
but the thing is we had been through so many bad moves. I think we went to this, like, I remember being like, "This I refuse
It
to
can't
have
be
another bad move. I refuse. We're gonna get everything in line. Everything is gonna work. Everything's gonna be set up." And it's I blame Syracuse. We had the seller from hell when we moved there. We had the buyer from hell when we moved out.
Oh my god, we had the buyer from hell who had money but didn't wanna spend their money. You know, we had our stuff together, and The movers was mad at us because we had so much stuff. I'm like, "Y'all niggas knew how much stuff it was because they tell you on the paper when they come and they estimate the
And
cost."
we didn't add new stuff.
You brought the truck. You knew the truck was gonna be full. So why you then we moved, and then the seller still didn't wanna finish everything with the house because in New York, they just be doing stuff, y'all. I'm just gonna tell y'all right now. If you trying to move to New York and buy a house, just be prepared.
Buckle up.
Them niggas just be doing stuff. They be like, closing date is on or about, and then it's 6 weeks later, and then it's like, let's close now, bitch. So had to stay with friends at a friend house. Had to stay in some Airbnbs. Had to reschedule heart surgery. Had to reschedule open heart surgery. Got into our house, got our house, and then the owners of this house was late moving out. Had to take our stuff and put it back in the storage with the movers. So then they charged us for that, and then came back and then moved in, and then a few days later had open heart surgery, and then I was in the hospital while y'all finished moving in. Didn't even have furniture in the house when I left for open heart surgery. And then I came back and then our son left for college. And now, here we are. Here we are, 4 months later. And I I don't feel I don't think my body has fully settled or processed it yet. Um, but as you said, we have so much joy here.
So much.
And the nugget to take from this is you just gotta go do what the fuck you want to do for your life, and you gotta just go after it, and you can't stop. Because 20 years ago, when we were still living in California, we said we want to live in Maryland. We said it. We said this is where we wanted to end up. We didn't know how we were gonna get here. We were trying and trying and trying all these years to make it work. It didn't work. And finally, we're here. We're in the house of our dreams. Our kids are happy. They're in the schools that they love. Our son is in college. He loves his school. Every day we go outside and we look outside and we act like we're on a fucking, Little House on the Prairie commercial or some shit. And we're just like, oh, look at the crepe myrtles. I didn't know what a crepe myrtle was before I got here. All the trees are orange and beautiful. And I mean, I would not have this any other way.
No.
So I
You know,
will say, like, it's been awful.
yeah.
It's been awful getting here, but I just feel like it's so worth it.
Yeah. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't take it back. Like, I wouldn't take it back.
I wouldn't take it out. I wouldn't take it back.
I wouldn't take it back.
I wouldn't take it back.
Um, and I think it, like you said, it really is a testament to, like, going after what you want, right? Like, we had to work hella hard. There were times there were times I was very over it. I was very over it and everybody. Um, but we knew what we wanted and we went after it and we got it. And it was the right decision. And
It's
it's one of
listen,
those things you get older, especially when you hit that 4-0, um, and you're like, hey, I want to live the life that I want to live.
that's
I
right.
want to live it where I want to live it, the way I want to live it, with the people that I want to live it with, doing the things that I like to do.
According to our daughter, we had our second ever argument during this
We
process.
did.
According to our daughter, she's like, "Oh my gosh, I had an argument. It's like the second one in your life." And I was like, "I think that was our second
They
argument."
were looking like, are y'all okay?
I love that for you, that you think that your parents have only had 2 arguments in our 20 years together. I love that for you, but she was like, "What, 3rd?" I was like, "Okay, boo-boo. Okay, boo-boo." But I think, and let's get into this conversation on being 40, right? Because we both turned 40 last year, and I think for both of us, it was kind of a pivotal time. Um, and we just made some decisions for ourselves. And I think that both of us started moving differently after 40. I noticed it. I think and I noticed it in you and me. And so I know for me, turning 40 on the book tour, I was coming off of that major hospitalization last spring where we discovered I had fibroids, I had blood clots, I had a leak in the descending aorta. I had all these health issues that were revealing to me that I was going to have to start taking myself more seriously. Um, like I stopped drinking, you know. Um, I started exercising a lot more. I was like, it's some stuff I'm not finna do. Even when I'm going to conferences and stuff, I'm not finna be out with y'all niggas, like I would go to the conference hotels and I would be in the damn gym. I'm like, there was one hotel I had been at 4 or 5 times and had never been to the gym. And I was like, "Where's the gym?" They was like, "Ma'am,
You don't know?
you've been here before." And I'm like, "I know, but now I exercise." Like there were just a lot of things for me that turning 40 just kind of put those things in perspective. I got my reading, together. Like it was just things I'm like, I can't just be living all, loose out here no more. Like the stakes felt higher, you know?
I mean, and I really think that's what it is. It's like, I feel like at some point you look at yourself and say, what am I really doing? What am I really doing? Like, there's fun stuff, there's adulting stuff, there's challenges, there's all these different things, but it's like, what am I really trying to do here? Um, and I know for me that was kind of what it was like, what kind of like I said earlier, like what life do I really want to be living? Am I there yet? How much further do I need to go? What steps do I need to take to get there? But like you said, for you, like part of it was like, I need to start working out because I want the way I want to feel in my body requires me doing some different kind of exercise and stuff. I want to. This is gonna sound real crazy. I know you don't understand. This gonna sound real crazy. Like I want my sleep to be better, so I would
Mhm.
buy a specialized pillow that's gonna have my posture doing things to me
Mhm.
so that I sleep better and I wake up more rested. Like I'm gonna invest in something like that. I'm gonna invest in living in the actual area that I want to live in that have access to the things that I want to have access to and has the racial makeup that I want it to have.
Mhm.
I'm gonna spend my time doing the things that are fulfilling for me and not necessarily fulfilling for other people, right? There might be some people in your life might be dragging you down. Might be time to let them go. Like I will
I mean,
say, I spent a lot less time talking to certain people, much better for it.
and it kinda sucks, right? Because it's like you wake it's like it's really weird, like, you wake up one day, you're like, "Fuck that shit, I ain't doing that no more." Like, it's like it really does happen. People tell you, like, at 40, you, like, stop giving a fuck, but at 50, you really stop giving a fuck, and I'm like, "Damn, like, if at 50, I'm really finna be not giving a fuck, that's gonna be wild," because I really don't give a fuck right now. I just really don't. I'm at the stage right now where there's just I'm not gonna fight anybody. I'm not gonna beg anybody. I'm not gonna be begging these institutions. I'm not I'm not going to move in such a way to where I have to sit here and shrink, in these spaces or around people or with friends or with lovers. I'm just not doing it anymore. My priority is like this household, you, the children, my body. Am I well? Do I feel well in my body? I'm so sensitive now to bloat. I'm like, I feel bloated. I'm not eating bread tomorrow. Just like, I'm just not doing that because I don't like the way my stomach feels today. I was sitting there yesterday and I was thinking about the fact that I was so upset that I hadn't finished reading this book and how in my 20s and 30s, I didn't think about reading a lot. I read for school, but the idea of being like, "I wanted to read this book by Wednesday," it was just so foreign to me, but now I'm like, I really do I like reading. Today, I had time in the car, I'm like, "Imma read about a chapter of this book because I really wanna read this book," and I did, and it felt so good, and before, it felt like it wasn't meaningful. It felt like it didn't add up to anything, But now I'm realizing it adds up to me being who I am and who I want to be, and that matters to me, you know?
And I feel really bad because the world is on fire, and so I can't help but make almost any conversation I'm in political,
Yeah,
but the world is on fire,
yeah.
and I feel like if there wasn't a sign to live your life the way that you wanna live it, this this is the sign. This is the sign for you
Mhm,
to live the life that you want to live,
mhm.
because stuff that you thought was guaranteed last week, last month, last year, 5 years ago is gone.
That's right.
It is gone.
That's right.
Stuff that you thought you could rely on, stuff that you thought would always be there, the a way of operating in the world, institutions you thought were gonna be around forever, gone.
Gone.
And I think that's it's really interesting that we're having this moment where we're like, let's let's build our homestead and be where we want to be and feel comfortable and safe and invite the people in that we're comfortable
Mhm.
inviting in, and not inviting people in that we're not, comfortable with, in a time where the world looks the way it does. um that coincidence is not lost on me,
No.
because I will say, as again, as the world is on fire, I've strangely felt very great in my home.
Same. And let's talk about this, right? Because I have been recovering from open heart surgery. And so, this last 2 weeks or so, I would say, are really the first consecutive 2 weeks where I've really felt good, where I haven't felt like, "Oh my god, I have to lay down." I just started sitting up.
Yeah.
I just started sitting up in the beginning of November, and you were taking care of me that first 2 weeks of August. I could not get out of the bed. I couldn't walk. I couldn't bathe myself. I couldn't eat. I couldn't go to the bathroom, both get myself to the bathroom or actually use the bathroom, right? Like, my body was in a state of shock. I couldn't bend. I couldn't turn. I couldn't pick things up. I couldn't lift my left arm, right? Mm. Even with that, we still somehow had joy because we were here doing it. And that's the other thing. Like, when you are chasing after the things that fulfill you, when you find yourself in spaces and places where you are seen and you are whole and you are answering the call of your body, even the hard things are easier, even the hard things are better. And I think that's why our moves, even though they've been awful, and when we tell people about them, they're always like, oh my gosh, right? They're always like, oh my God, how'd you make it? Because we were together and we were with our family and we were going after the thing we knew we were meant to be doing. We were actually building the life we wanted for ourselves, right? Every single time that you changed jobs and you were like, I'm going to try and do this new thing. I'm going to try and work from home for this company that's in Australia. I was like, that's nuts. And you was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool. And it's worked out so well. And if you had not have done that, if you had not have taken that chance, all of this would not even have worked out the way it did. You know what I'm saying? If you had to go into a office every single day, we would not have been able to hop, skip, jump Chicago, Syracuse here. You've been at that company for so long, and I think I kind of just want to encourage people, you know, 2 things, I guess. Like, 40 is absolutely not the end. I feel like we we getting started, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I'm re-energized
I'm
now.
kinda re-energized now, you know what I'm saying? But also that, there's something special about when you do what you are called to do, right? I do believe that there's a way that the universe rises up to meet you when you are doing what your ancestors and what the energy of the universe wants you to be doing. When you find yourself in the places where you are supposed to be. We spent our whole 20s in places we did not belong. Begging people, begging employers, begging church members to treat us with respect, to pay us fairly, and we wasted so much creative energy on asking, begging, on being distracted. And now we're just not distracted. We're not distracted at all.
And it feels good.
It do.
Feels great.
And my locks is long.
And and I said I'm re-energized because now I'm looking forward.
Right.
'cause now I'm excited, "Oh, what's the next thing?
Right,
What's the next thing are we gonna set up and build out and create and do?" Because now we've come much more into the fullness of ourselves.
right. But I also think that when you do that, you build a foundation so that you can take more chances, right? When you curate the world around you, the people you spend time with, the environments that you're in, the work that you do, you can take more chances because you're not on a shaky foundation, right? Like you and I'm thinking about Stephen King's memoir of the craft,
Yeah.
where he said one of the main reasons why he's able to be so successful as a writer is because he has a very firm household. He's like, my wife and I get along well. My kids are great. He's like, I'm not saying that everybody has to be married. He's like, but what I'm saying is that you want to have a healthy life. Whatever that healthy life looks like for you. It might not be the same model that I have, but there's something about curating a life for yourself that allows you to be creative. That's the same thing Toni Morrison said. She said the main goal of racism is to keep us distracted, to always be explaining ourselves to people about what racism is, to white folk about what racism is. And when you don't have to be doing that in your personal life or in your daily life, you have so much more time and so much more freedom.
Let's jump in. Let's do this reflection. Like I said, I am looking forward, because to your point, like when you have a really solid foundation, and I feel like I have a really solid foundation here. I'm like, it's time to hit the gas. It's time to blaze forward. It's time to start taking some more chances and doing some different things. Um, I know for me, the big one is writing.
Mhm.
It's been a lifelong thing for me. It's been a lifelong pursuit. Two of these degrees behind me are writing related. So I've been working at it. I've been really putting in the time. Um, and I think I finally feel like I have license to do it, right? And like you said, a lot of it is having a firm foundation. And this entire time, I've kind of always felt like I gotta really, I gotta go to work. I gotta work hard. I gotta climb that ladder. I gotta, get that raise, get that promotion, get whatever it is to provide for my family so that we have the things that we need, so that my kids can grow up the way I want them to grow up, so they can have the opportunities that I want them to have, so that you can have those same things, right? Like, we're a unit and we're trying to make it work. We're trying to make it happen, right? And so I was always trying to make it happen. And writing was always that thing I wanted to do, and I could kind of sneak off and do it here and there, right? But it was never like I can really fully invest in this in a real way. And now I feel like I finally have that license, right? And I feel like when I talk about coincidences, like I never really think that they're coincidences. I really do think that they're divine, right? Because like the other thing is like in the midst of us moving, in the midst of us coming here and through all of that craziness, right? I applied to We Need Diverse Books Fellowship, um, and got selected as a finalist.
Mhm.
Um, and my final manuscript is due next month. Again, like in the midst of all the craziness, it was like, let's add something else on top,
Mhm.
right? But at the same time, it really did feel like you are making the right life decisions to get to where you really should be. And so as you're doing that, more things are starting to fall into alignment, right? It was like, hey, we are recognizing that you are a good writer
Mhm.
and the work that you are creating is good. And this is something that should be out in the world. And we want to
Mhm.
support that effort, right? That's confirmation for me that we're doing the right things and this is a place that I should be going, right? And I'm really excited about that. Um, I'm excited to do more traveling. I'm excited to go see the world. I'm excited to cook more cuisines. I'm excited to eat a lot of seafood because we now live off the Chesapeake Bay. Like there's there's a lot of things to look forward to. And like you said it before, like sometimes people feel like, 40 is like the start of the end. But I feel like before 40 was the prologue,
Mm.
and now we're to the meat.
I I I agree. I think I also when I'm hearing you talk, I just think about I think I hear you also giving yourself permission. And having now known you for this long, I'm like, I do feel like you are giving yourself permission now. And it makes me kind of sad Because I'm like, dang, you've been a writer this whole time. And I've seen you writing, and your book is incredible. And I've watched this book baby since 2006, and I'm just watching it like crawling and crawling, and now it's starting to walk. Part of me is like, it, it's hypocritical because I just finished my memoir that I also started in 2006. We started our books at the same time. We're finishing them at the same time. And so it does feel kind of serendipitous, right? That those projects, we both gave ourselves permission to finish them now. And so I'm also kind of working through the guilt and the shame of us not really stepping fully into ourselves until 40, Like it's like we had to do so much living. We had to
Well,
do so much.
I will say this, right? Because, your We Publish Beloved podcast episode, again, y'all definitely want to watch those episodes. They're very good. You did an episode with Disha Dyer, right? Who worked in the Obama White House, right? And there's a part in there where she's talking about how, they're working in the White House, and she was like, have y'all ever hosted the Pope in your house before? No, you haven't done it. You haven't done it. Have you done it? Do you know how we do that? Right. And you realize that, like, even at these high levels, right, people are doing things that they've never done before. Right. And you got to figure it out. Right. And I
Yeah,
feel like before 40 for us was very much, we got to figure a lot of shit out. We got to figure out, how do you buy a house? How
yeah,
do you raise a child?
yeah,
Like, how do you purchase things? How do you invest your money? How do you deal with toxic people? How do you deal with toxic work environments? How do
yeah.
you deal with the legal system in different ways? How do you register your car in different states? It's different in every state, y'all.
It is. Maryland is not.
Everyone's been different. None of them have made any sense to me, right?
No.
Like, there's all these things that you people believe, like, you become an adult and now you're an adult, right? But, like, a good 20 years of that was, like, figuring out how to really, really be an adult, right?
Yeah,
And I think you talk about giving yourself permission. Like, I think it took us getting to a place of being like, I know what the fuck I'm doing now.
yeah,
And now that I know what I'm doing, I can give myself permission to do some new stuff. I can bring some new things in that might have some uncertainties. It might be, you know, some new terrain that I'm not used to. But because I know how to do this life thing now, I can
yeah,
do that.
yeah, that's a word. Well, I gotta sit with that. Yeah, I guess I'm looking forward to that. I guess I'm looking forward to the adventure part because I think you're right. I think now we figured it out. We kinda figured out who we are and who we wanna be. I've made some decisions that I definitely have made some decisions about who I wanna be and how I wanna show up in the world, what I'm not gonna do. What I'm not gonna do. Um And that does make me very excited because I'm like, it's a lot of shit that I'm not gonna deal with anymore. There's a lot of distractions I'm not gonna deal with anymore. The focus I've seen from both of us since we turned 40 is nuts. Nuts. And it makes the 40s look real exciting.
Yeah. And I can't wait. I
Me
can't wait to
either.
do it with you.
Aw, that's cute.